All right, what's up, everybody? It's your favorite villain here, and today I have my boy Chuck with me. If you want to go ahead and say what's up.
Hey, homies, I'm really glad to be here. Thanks to Splash for inviting me in.
Yeah, so today Chuck's actually helping me touch on a topic that I had been planning on doing for a while. He's really been helping me get through Super in terms of specifically the Tournament of Power. I've been doing content around it that's been doing really well, and I wanted to touch on a kind of discussion topic of what would happen if Supergirl from Post Crisis ended up in the tournament. Now we're gonna go over like how the tournament would go with her getting dropped off right in the beginning of it. Give our opinions on it, kind of go over how it changes the landscape. And if you guys want to see a different video, like more DC characters as a team pulling up or anything like that, definitely let me know in the comment section. And yeah, before we get started, Chuck, who do you think off rip would you put your money on to give Supergirl a problem?
Yeah, so top three off the get-go, I would say for sure Jiren, because he's really experienced. He was like the big boss of the Tournament of Power. He basically pushed Goku into getting a lot of power-ups and gave a lot of other fighters a really tough, you know, I guess run for their money. Goku obviously as well, because he's the main character. He has a lot of tenacity, and because he doesn't really give up, that would give Supergirl a challenge. And obviously, if you have watched a Tournament of Power, you know that there are characters like Kefla, which is like the fusion of the two Universe 6 Saiyans. We have God of Destruction Topo, who was like the God of Destruction candidate. And there's also Hit, who I think would also give her a really tough battle. I would say more so than Kefla if, Kefla didn't appear, which we'll discuss later into this video.
Yeah, I agree. I agree for the most part on most of those characters. Specifically for me, I think the biggest one to consider off rip is Jiren, because we are considering this from an in character standpoint. The situation is Supergirl got time displaced, space displaced, whatever you want to call it, and she got put with one of those garbage universes like Universe 9. And they saw she was nasty with it and were like, okay, you're going to come with our team, pretend you're from here, and help us win this tournament so we don't get erased. So Supergirl, because she's not a complete jerk, she would help them not get erased. So she's going with them. Her team's going to get dunked on right away. That's the idea behind it. Supergirl would try to save them, but she would kind of have to be handling her own problems first. And I think her mentality, given that she does firmly believe she's always the top dog in the fight, I believe she would go after Jiren first. I do know Jiren is pretty good, and so are actually a lot of Dragon Ball characters, of hiding their true strength. But Supergirl has shown in the past that she's capable of looking past aura or energy suppression, like when people are hiding their true latent power. So she would know who the big dogs are off rip in the tournament, and I think with her personality, she would swing on Jiren first. Now, one of the biggest personality problems we have to address with Supergirl is her ignorance. Like, she, at a certain point, she gets tired of people telling her stuff or telling her what to do. And this tournament does have rules. So, Chuck, do you kind of want to review the big rules that could get her DQ'd if she, pops off?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, the rules are kind of arbitrary, like later on, because I think like they said you couldn't really use any items, like special stuff like that, or like healing items. Yet they basically allowed Kefla to fuse. But I guess like the Zenos, if they decide it's like really fun, it'll give them a lot of excitement. They might be like whatever. But one of the big things is you cannot kill your opponent, because if you do, then you pretty much get disqualified off the get go. And we saw this like when basically like when Frost was trying to pull up and kill Frieza after he got eliminated. And we saw this with Frost when he was trying to kill Frieza after he got eliminated because he got really salty. Zeno was like, nah, bro. And he just erased him like pretty much immediately. But yeah, I don't really think that she would go out of her way to kill someone. Because, I mean, heroin or whatever. But I think that, if she feels forced to, she might just straight up be like, whatever, and just go for it.
Yeah,
Right?
so I think one of the big things to look at it morality wise from her is one, she was actually in the Supergirl run that we're using is from a video I made on her. Um, in that run, it really kind of talked about how she has a propensity towards violence and killing because of her upbringing than Clark does because of her PTSD and the fact that she actually is like the representation of Krypton. She has a lot of pressure on her back, and just all of that alone, sometimes she just forgets and will let it fly. I think killing from her would come from one or two things. One, on accident, like she gets jumped and she just starts swinging for the fences, and she's, God forbid, she catches a Krillin type with the uppercut.
You know, gives Goku a power up.
Yeah, like she might hit the wrong person with the wrong move and accidentally kill him. And then it gets into a discussion of, oh, with that, you know, because obviously, like you said, it's arbitrary, and they've had some exceptions. So it depends, but she would be more inclined to kill as well if she panicked when she realizes, oh crap, if I don't win, a whole universe dies. So that, if anything, that could bring, you know, that could bring it out of her. I mean, like I said, I don't think she's coming out as an experter, but I think she's gonna fight Jiren first. I think I've told you before, I don't think she hurts Jiren with her first couple hits, but I think the problem for Jiren is Jiren's gonna look it off, those hits, like with his Chad pose, and that's gonna piss her off. And she can't, her ego is really fragile when it comes to stuff like that. Like, she almost killed Power Boy because he told her he liked her and then he like hit her, and that just blew her mind, so she beat the shit out of him. So stuff like that, she was like, you told me you love me and then you hit me, bitch. And then she was like breaking his arms and stuff. So she
that's lovely.
Yeah, she's a little OD with it when she rages. So and another thing that you mentioned, which I think is important for you to touch on because you're more the Dragon Ball guy, is Supergirl in character is not going to be Goku. She's not going to give Kefla type characters the chance to level up. That's not her. That's like, she's going to be like, no, bitch, you got to go. So, like, with that in mind, with assuming she's not going to let people just train and power up or whatever, that should change the landscape. So, outside of Jiren, who we know is the strongest, who is it?
Yeah, so with Kefla, we know she appeared because basically Caulifla and Kale were facing off against Goku while he was fatigued, and Caulifla was trying to learn more about the Super Saiyan, transformation, and Goku was like, all right, I know I have to fight you, but, I'll train you along the way. And it's kind of like a dynamic that Kaba and Vegeta also had, that he thought he was like his apprentice or something. But obviously that is because Goku really likes to, gauge his opponent's power and, see if they can get stronger. That is why he's always trying to find stronger and stronger opponents. But Supergirl in this case will, she sees that there's like a threat or, really potent character. She's going to try to take care of them as soon as possible. Jiren is kind of similar because when he faced off against Hit, he basically was like, okay, like, I know you're like the big dog of Universe 6, and he basically just, obviously he didn't really struggle all that much, but he basically took care of him, right off the get-go. Against Kale, when she first transformed, Jiren was like, no, I'm gonna take care of her, and he basically knocked her ass out in like one blast. So I think Supergirl would act in a similar manner. And in this case, if she fights off against Caulifla and Kale, it is very likely that this whole training thing wouldn't happen because she would probably knock them the hell off the ring.
Yeah,
so,
she'll hit a kid. She's technically a kid herself, so.
Yeah, and with Topo, the whole reason he basically like changed his resolve to being like a prideful, justice trooper to being a god of destruction was because Frieza and Android 17 were basically bullying him, and he was like, nah, screw it, I'm gonna go all out. So it's possible that if Supergirl beats on him, if she does beat him fast enough, which I think would be pretty difficult for her. Not impossible, but definitely difficult because Topo was very powerful as well. She does beat him fast enough, he might not even get a chance to transform. But if she does wail on him, he might be like, all right, I'm gonna become a god now.
Yeah, I guess this is where I might as well briefly go over what power we're assuming her to be at. If y'all, like I said, if y'all haven't checked out my Supergirl video, definitely go check that out so you get a good taste of where she's at. But we're considering her a couple things me and Chuck inherently agree on. One, she's at least as fast, if not faster, comfortably than everybody here. Obviously, she's not just speed blitz dog walking everybody. That's not what we're saying, but she can casually copy the moves of Flash. She was shown to easily match Dark Supergirl. Dark Supergirl is simply her darker half that blitzed Flash, blitzed Martian Manhunter, almost killed him with one shot. Was able to fight pretty evenly with Superman and Wonder Woman. All these things. She was able to survive erasure from the Monitor, detect the Monitor viewing her. All these crazy things. So she has speed definitely on her side. She has adaptability. She's actually arguably more adaptable than Superman. And she showed things like she'll steal your moves. She stole Flash's move where he vibrates on multiple spectrums and can blitz or knock you out or phase through you. So she can react to everybody. She's going to be able to sense everybody. She can literally sense individual pieces of information through trillions of light years of information and moments. So obviously she's not going to get overwhelmed or blitzed by anyone or taken by surprise. So with that in mind, her power level, I don't believe, in character starting off, is at the same level as like a Jiren or a Hit or even a transformed Goku. She can casually like match somebody whose fingertips house thousands of galaxies, and then you made a big ball of energy, and she matched it and put them in a coma with a power overload. So casually, her energy does allow him to take any hit they dish out initially. But like I said, I think how it starts off is while her teammates are busy getting dunked on by everybody else, by randoms, she's going to be seeking out the big dog, which is Jiren. So this is my question for you, Chuck. If she gets her hands on Jiren, like I said, I don't believe she takes him out first few hits, but I think he pisses her off. And she really starts pressuring Jiren. Like I'm talking starts really putting the hands on him. Because she's going to be able to hit Jiren harder and he survived. So she's going to keep turning it up. So how do you think the rest of the tournament reacts to Jiren getting if not beaten, really pressed?
Okay, so I think that the Justice Troopers, Topo and Dispo, they might be like, okay, we kind of need to protect him. Obviously, like they know that he's like the leader, or that he's he's like pretty much like their huge cannon, right?
Yeah,
he's like
the
their
gold
big
ticket.
guy on their yeah. So more than likely they're gonna try to jump Supergirl. Another thing that I think would happen is that if Jiren seems to be getting pressed, I think Goku and Hit might also try to go in as well, because Hit, what he was trying to do is like his main job was to take care of Jiren. He said that like that was one of like his main goals, and we saw him try to take a hit at Jiren right after he fought Goku. So it's possible that if Supergirl opens up an opportunity, Hit will try to exploit that and either take her out or try to get a hit on Jiren. And Goku is like, yo, I really want to fight this dude, so he might even jump in too. We saw him actually try to join in when Hit and Jiren were about to fight, and Hit was like, nah, I think I'm outie. But yeah, pretty much I think that there's just a lot of people that would want to either jump in, not really to help Supergirl, but I guess to try to, jump on Jiren, And I think if Hit and Goku and Supergirl kind of like, not really fighting on the same side, but they're kind of like both with the same objective to take him out, they could do it maybe. But the thing with Jiren is that literally with really minimal power-ups, he will like... It's just ridiculous how crazy the power gaps are, because we talked about this before. When he was extremely casual, he blinked away the Spirit Bomb that was stronger than Merge Zamasu and Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, and then Goku gets like several Zenkais and Jiren literally didn't even use his full power until he fought all of the fighters at the very end. And even then, he still had a limit-breaking form or state of power. So even though, Supergirl might be able to get a couple of, really good hits in at the start, Jiren will, just keep incrementing his power, and I guess just make it pretty hard for her to, I guess, get a finishing blow, especially with all the other fighters, trying to wail on her or Jiren at the same time.
All right, here's something we really didn't consider, especially me before, that might be interesting, is she's coming from a weak universe, and everybody's going to see her teammates get, like, just popped. The gods of destructions, everybody, like, witnessing, especially the Champa types, are going to see her wiling out, like, beating the shit out of the strongest there. They might start pressing the people that brought her. They might pull up like, yo, where'd you get this girl? Because she doesn't look like your people. She's not a furry. And
she's not your people.
Yeah, and so there might be a case where, we won't, for the sake of the video, we won't assume they cancel her because they find out she's illegal. But, like, I definitely do think that being a factor where they kind of, they're like, hold on, she should not be pressing Jiren, because, like, everybody in the crowd kind of based on how the fights were going, had a sense of who's the big dogs, like, around in the fights. So just seeing her by herself when her team was trash might raise some alarms. I mean, I definitely agree that she doesn't. I personally think a pissed off Supergirl beats Jiren, but I agree with you. She doesn't get rid of him fast enough that, she gets rid of the factor of people around her wising up to the situation. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
So we now have her either close to eliminating Jiren, but now people are jumping her, or she's not close, but she's pressing him, and people are getting involved because they're like, oh, this is an opportunity, especially people like Goku, Vegeta, that genuinely are competitors. I think Goku types will piss her off because she won't have a problem with him at first because he's a nice guy, but his ignorant, like, oh, I want to test myself, like, she's not going for that shit.
It's nasty. Yeah.
she's not entertaining that. She's like, dude, this is literally universes on the line, buddy. It's not a game. So that might get Goku's jaw broken right away. His childishness. That's actually something to think about. But she's fighting Jiren. All this happens. This is, for me, where I believe she starts breaking rules. Couple reasons why. One, I do believe these characters are strong enough to force her to feel like she has to break rules or try to get away with breaking rules, because she's so fast, dude. She could, like, really be coming from the mindset of, I bet I could get this off before they see me. And because, like, she's literally blitzed past Superman's super senses before, so, and he can sense infinite distances away. So, like, I don't really know, like, why she wouldn't have that mindset, especially with her reckless personality. But yeah, I guess this is where we kind of, I mean, what do you think? Do you agree with me that she would maybe risk trying to cheat when Jiren plus others get involved?
Okay, well, I do think that she might be pressed to kill one of them. And I don't know about, like, them not catching her. I mean, like, we do have to keep in mind that Zeno was like, yo, what the hell is going on? These guys are fighting way too fast. He said that when Dispo was fighting Hit. Obviously, Zeno is extremely casual. He's just chilling. He's not actively trying to keep track of them. He's just there to, he's just watching. It's like watching a TV show, right? So obviously, he's not at his best there. But if he's being extremely casual and he doesn't catch what Supergirl is doing, then there could be a chance that she could, do some sketch shit and, break one of their bones or something, or really hurt.
She might try to phase, bro. She might do something like this. For people that doubt Supergirl's this crazy,
but they do have instant replay and they can slow down the footage. So
ESPN
I don't know, man. they might catch her, bro.
Yeah, she's so crazy. Like, just for people that don't think she'll take it there, she's so crazy. One time she grabbed Clayface and flew him up into orbit, so that he would crystallize in space, and he was like, Superman would never do this. And she was like, yeah, I know. but I'm not him, so that's tough.
Yeah.
And then she just left him there, and then she like, oh my god, she waited for someone 50 years in deep space just to beat his ass. She literally sat in space for 50 entire years just to punch him in the mouth. So when I tell you she's spiteful and like she would do these things, people, I promise she would. We really have to consider in character for Supergirl. She's not Superman. That's the biggest thing, is she's not. So
She a rebel.
yeah, so the rebellion factor really would lead. I think. So I think she can one-on-one easily without cheating. Dispatch of anybody not Jiren tier. What could be interesting, I guess we'll touch on this aspect before we wrap it up with what would inevitably happen is, what if she's fighting Jiren, and that's when everybody else takes the chance to say, okay, we might have to sharpen up real quick. So you might get a Kefla situation. What do you think of that?
Yeah, so with Kefla, I mean, like, we know she's at least able to go Super Saiyan 2, and then she's able to power up past that. The thing is that her attacks were so powerful that even Ultra Instinct Goku was like, yeah, I can't let one of these attacks hit me. So I believe that her attacks would really hurt Supergirl if they managed to hit her. And obviously, if you have Hit alongside her, that is when it gets difficult. The thing with Hit is that he might not be like, top tier, but he does have enough like experience and versatility that he's able to progress as the fight goes on. He didn't really show this against Jiren, but he did against Goku. But he's able to like block really powerful attacks, even if somebody's faster than him, like against Dispo. He was able to like block his really vital areas. So even if he's getting Speed Blitz, he's capable of at least not get like destroyed. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna try to counter like really like huge openings that he might have, right?
Yeah, he concerns me because he's the one that would be most,
and he might also try to break the rules if he really needs to.
They're both crazy, but he's definitely one of those with his arsenal and mindset that I believe could get her to mess up and cheat, or push her to feel like she has to, because one, she's gonna have a sense of, okay, this guy's a little different. This guy, he might be a killer. And two, he's hacked. He's really hacked in a way that he's trying to deceive you, and I feel like that would force her to slightly panic. What do you think?
Yeah, like I don't know about Hit like knocking her out, but I do see him like giving her some trouble.
No, I don't see that. I do see him. She can counter any of his hacks, especially given a second to process what's going on. But I believe that second of okay, what the hell did I just get hit with, is what's going to cause her to say, okay, I don't know if I can get through this just being nice. I don't know if I can get through this not flying.
Yeah, it's like I have to start wailing on fools.
Yeah, especially when she's looking around and these people are using weird ass abilities. She might feel like she's getting screwed. Like, dog, one of my biggest thing is flight, and they're taking that away from me. So she might be.
Oh, dude, we forgot about that, bro. The no flying thing. Okay, so since you mentioned the no flying thing, so we did see Jiren and Goku. I think we saw Topo and Vegeta as well. So I think we saw them fly. So it's possible that if you're powerful enough, you can pretty much like
overpower the cap, I guess.
Yeah. You can overpower the limitation that the Grand Priest put up. Now, this doesn't mean that they're outright countering the Grand Priest like altogether, but it's just a basic restriction they put on the field. Supergirl, if she doesn't have enough like power, like she might not be able to counteract that gap. But I think that because of her speed, it wouldn't really matter anyways.
Yeah, I mean, she's fast enough. She's shown she can literally foot race Flash and like surprise the shit out of him and be ahead of him. So, and she can do his phasing stuff too as a runner. So she's comfortable not flying. my issue with the flying thing is she might look at it as, okay, why am I getting restricted with one of my biggest things, but they're not. These people can use time cages, they can power steal, power mimic, things like that. She's getting a lot thrown at her, because like we are introducing right now, and why, you know, it might be interesting if we change the video, is she's by herself. So she's a lone dog right now, and that can really affect how she approaches this. So I do think she can take anyone one-on-one, especially in the beginning, but I think her propensity for going for the big dog, especially with the mentality of I'm probably going to be doing this by myself, I think that's what leads to her problems. And I think that's when she is forced to either cheat by killing or flying or doing something else, or she just gets frustrated and accidentally kills someone. So at that point, me and Chuck really disagree about this, but it's about whether or not Xeno could actually erase her. I'm not saying, in Dragon Ball fans, swear to God, don't shoot yet. I'm not saying she beat Xeno. I'm saying
yes, he does. He thinks he thinks so. He's a DC boy.
I've seen her resist getting erased by the monitor, so she could like resist getting erased, and then it becomes a question of, okay, what happens after they try to erase her and she doesn't get erased? All hell should break loose. So if you want to see us talk about that, we certainly can. But me and Chuck are also, he actually is one of the inspirations behind this. He did this style video before, so we've talked about, you know, touching on this again in that kind of old style. So if you guys want to see that on my channel, or I guess his, if he was open to it, definitely let us know. But do you have any closing thoughts on the scenario for Supergirl in this case?
One character that I think could also give her a run for her money due to like the difference, due to the different kind of energy that he has, is Topo with like his God Key, because it can basically nullify normal key attacks, and for the most part, like normal attacks, quote unquote, they didn't really work on him. Like Vegeta had to use like his God Key to like overpower him. So I mean, obviously Supergirl doesn't have those types of key. So it's possible that due to God Topo having this, I guess, layer of defense, it would probably make it pretty difficult for her to, I guess, defeat him as easily with other characters. But yeah, that's another thing. But like as we said, you know, it's possible that she could defeat Jiren, so maybe Topo, you know, I mean, Topo wouldn't really be as much of an issue, but I think that because of that degree of different kind of energy, that could be a factor in her defeat.
Facts.
Especially with the, you know, especially with other characters if they jump in as well.
Yeah.
Shout out to Don. He actually sponsored this video, so thanks a lot for that, fool. And if you want to check out my channel, I basically do everything. I mean, I do Dragon Ball, Marvel, DC, SCP, stuff like that. Might do some other stuff later on, but yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, and definitely check out his channel if y'all like SCP. He just did a huge SCP video. I actually sat through with him during the process, and he put a lot of work into it. So definitely, guys, go check that out. And yeah, thank you for helping me with all the super stuff, Chuck. And if y'all like super content, definitely show the support in the comment section with the like button. But anyways, guys, it's been your favorite villain and Chuck, and we will see y'all later. Peace.
Yeah, see you guys.